and George Knapp. I think they're in cahoots in their business. Um, so this is the photo right here. You can make of it what it seems like a pretty much perfectly spherical metal ball thing, and it was
That's a large marble.
yeah, big marble in the sky, and I guess it was flying kind of in tandem with the drone, and that's where the picture's from. Um, and this is over Iraq in Mosul, Iraq in 2016. Which is the other interesting thing
Yeah.
about all these UFO sightings. There seem to be a high concentration of them over conflict areas.
Well, that
Um,
would make sense
yeah.
for like. I mean, you wouldn't think necessarily you'd see them over, a city that, like Toronto or something,
Oh, there's
Calgary or
Lake Ontario and Lake Erie are hotspots too.
well, the lakes themselves, maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
because
just like over the lake.
yeah, you
So
could just be out. Who knows? Maybe they're parked in the water.
probably not in the lakes, but yeah,
Why not?
in the oceans.
Lakes
I
go
feel
deep
like it's
enough.
too.
Holy shit, man! Some of these lakes go
Yeah, but I
quite
think
deep.
they're mapped. I think you have them mapped. You can map them, so it'd be easy to detect, unless it's underground, even further, which is a
Mm,
whole other thing.
yeah,
But they could just go into the ocean where it's like super deep, especially if these things fly like that.
yeah. It
Um,
would depend on how fast they get around, and you know,
which we know is very fast because they
yeah.
disappear and they. What was the Fravor one
Oh God,
was I think it's
they couldn't measure.
well it was like above the atmosphere
Yeah,
to like 1 foot above the ground in less than a second because that's the as the radar detects is 1 second
right.
pulses, and so it would have the speed is insane for it to have
Yeah.
done that, and then it was zipping around and just keeping speed with fighter jets and doing whatever it wants,
Would that
and
be
there are other stories like
would that
that.
be basically the speed of light, or very close to? How far up
It
is
depends. It
the
depends
atmosphere?
on
Is
the
what?
exact.
How far up?
Yeah, it depends because it's very gradual. Like technically, it goes out past the moon, but you're in orbit. I think you're good around a little over 100 kilometers, probably 150. I know the ISS is around 400, and it needs to do corrections from time to time because of the atmospheric drag. Even though it's minimal, it still every now and then needs to do a little boost
How
to.
do you know this shit?
I know things.
Well, how do you know this shit? You
I'm a
fucking nerd.
space nerd.
You're a nerd.
I'm a nerd.
I like to think I'm a bit of a space nerd, but I don't know these kinds of things. I know more about like other planets and stuff. Well, a little bit, but
Yeah.
not.
So I don't know if it would be the speed of light, but some of these things, like when they are observed just disappearing, like I mean, from our perspective, they might just be traveling at the speed or faster, like using wormholes. There was, I should have pulled this up because this was recent too. There was it's not very detailed, but there was this footage of something that they're speculating could be some kind of wormhole or like a disruption in the atmosphere caused by a wormhole.
Right.
And it was just like a little video of some weird little thing, and so maybe that's how these things are moving around.
Temporal shifting.
That would be time
Mm-hmm.
travel.
Yep.
Um, that's another possibility. I don't know. These things are out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving around. And we don't know what they are, where they come from, or what their purpose is, and it's kind of freaky, but it's cool.
Well, let's put this out there. If you're out there, aliens, come talk to us. We'd like to see you. We'd like to have you on the podcast. Uh, your secret's safe with us. We'll just call you.
We won't tell anybody.
We'll call you John. This is our buddy John who wants to talk to you about space things.
I mean, time travel is a leading theory
Yeah.
of people from the future.
Well, it would make sense if they could, if they're not necessarily moving around, but they're like they're just traveling from point to point. That's why they could just do it that quickly, right?
Yeah, that's wormhole. That wouldn't be time, but
No, but I'm
that would
saying,
be manipulating space, well, space time as
but
it
yes, it would
said.
be time too. It could be time
Well,
as
no,
well.
because the entire fabric is called space time. So if you just you bend, you're not traveling through time if you bend the table to go from this point to that
Hmm.
point instantly, which it would be what that is. But then time travel would be if maybe it appeared that you went from this point to that point instantly because you traveled from this point to that point and then went back in time or something like that. But
This is make my head hurt.
yeah, time travel,
Time travel makes my head hurt.
maybe. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. Well,
I want to know what these things are and how they work. That's
yeah.
it.
Well, I'm gonna do a little more research on this because that's kind of interesting.
It's just the latest. I think the latest thing from
Yeah.
Corbell,
Yeah.
the orb.
Well, I'm definitely interested, so we'll have to take a look.
Yeah.
And more talk about it on a future podcast.